Thank you for coming to this meeting. We'll proceed to talk about Boys Planet, Episode 4. Hi guys, welcome back to this channel. Thought I would make a very serious intro because I'm wearing a serious outfit and I thought that would fit the vibe. Anyway, I actually watched this episode yesterday, which is why this video is being posted a little bit later than usual. And the entire day I had band from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., like 5:30 p.m. So crazy, I know. Literally, all I did was play flute and then had lunch in the middle. All flute. It's really tiring, but I'm back from that and I decided to film this video now. And oh my goodness, this video just had me in stress the entire time. And also, I feel like I just want to move on to the elimination part already. Like everyone was hyping up this episode specifically for that reason, so I was also hyped up. Also, I quite enjoyed the last episode, so I was kind of on that. And anyway, we're just gonna get straight into it. This actually analysis of everything that I included is very well organized because I divided it up into each of the teams. So like, I don't know, for Burn It Up, there's G group and then K group. So let's just start with the very first stage, which was Burn It Up, which is by 101. I've actually never heard of this song. Like, I've never heard of the title, I've never heard of the melody, nothing. But it was a cool song, so I guess give it up to them. I think it was actually a B-side from their first album or something like that, so it kind of makes sense as to why I'm not too familiar with the song. All I know is like Energetic Boomerang, maybe like their last song, I forgot what it was called. But anyway, we've got firstly a G group Burn It Up. I actually didn't know that the different outfits for these killing part individual was like different. I didn't know that was a thing in Boys Planet as well until I saw this performance because it was very noticeable. I think they were all the other members were wearing white, where the center or the killing part was wearing red. So I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that. I think I like it when there's like a special design change for the center, but a completely different color like red as compared to white is really noticeable. Just seems like backup dancers almost. And when they're not in the center, it looks very off balanced. Anyway, I don't know why they focused on the elbow guy too much. I think there's like a move where they all bend down and then one guy was doing this where you have to go like that. Anyway, it was like slightly unnecessary how they were focusing on this one guy's mistakes, which honestly they could do for every other performance. But if it weren't for that, I don't think this group would have gotten any other screen time. So that's why they kind of forced that storyline in. I don't know. The only funny part of this storyline was like the judge's actual real time reaction to the performance itself, where he made the mistake again despite the judges or the mentor's efforts to help him. I don't know. Burn It Up team generally were not that interesting. And there's K group Burn It Up, which I'm just gonna immediately go to because that's all I have to say about G group Burn It Up team. But I think this team really showed the reason why 07, 08s should not be on this show. Typically, they're only going to ruin their image almost and leave a digital footprint on their past history because they are quite immature still, 07s and 08s. If you think about it, they're like probably grade 9 to 10 if you're thinking Western. So they're probably not the most like mentally developed individuals. I don't mean it in a weird way, but they're probably not thinking all of their actions through, and it kind of shows that because they all seem extremely unmotivated and not very willing to participate in practice and all of that. And obviously not to generalize everyone, but that's just the case shown in the show. And I don't think it was a huge problem for the girls, like for Girls Planet. I keep kind of having to compare the two, but that's just the way it seems like. I mean, you know how boys have a later maturity, but I mean, that has nothing to do with this. But no, it kind of shows how someone young as that shouldn't really be under this pressure in the first place. And especially if they're unmotivated to become idols, they should just be training before they even go on these survival shows. And the leader, Beanshook, I think I really admire him. I mean, all of the leaders in these teams I really admire because their role is really pressuring because their role as a leader really impacts the team as a whole. And if the team as a whole wins, then they get the benefits. Every single member in that team receives the benefits. So that's a lot of pressure on the leaders. And leaders aren't only just leading, they also have to practice for themselves. They also have to put themselves first so that they get more screen time, center time, that they are perfect in their vocals and their dance as well. So that added responsibility, extra responsibility is really difficult, and they seem to pull it off well. And like this guy, Min-seok, trying to guide everyone in his team, or more so the younger team members, and try to motivate them, I think is really inspiring and really shows his efforts, because without him the team would not have done that successfully. And I don't think without him, I don't think K group would have won, because it's just, I don't know, they were both not perfect groups. I think initially they show more so the imperfect group and then move on to the more so perfect groups. Like, I don't know, I feel like last episode I was saying that all of the groups were really, really good compared to Girls Planet, and they seemed more polished. I take that back. They clearly left those performances for this episode, and if you watched it, you will definitely be able to know. And oh my god, I feel really like the results came, and then I felt really bad for the guy in the G group Burn It Up team. He had like an eye patch on, and he got 0 votes. You know how they show the results in terms of their parts? So it goes from, I don't know, main vocal might be announced first, and then sub vocal on blah blah blah. And him compared to his opponent had 0 votes, which is so upsetting. Like, imagine getting 0 votes. I would not want to become an idol after that. Like, some people got like at least 7 votes or something like that, but the fact that no one voted for him is a little upsetting. Anyway, the next performance was Danger, and I've actually never, like, Danger by BTS, I've also never heard of this song. It really shows how I don't really care that much about boy groups. Man, I'm really excited for them to cover a Pentagon song. Pentagon Shine is the next mission. I saw it somewhere on TikTok or something like that. And there's also like solo performances this time as well. Similar. Wait, was it a thing last time? I don't think it was. Like solo performances? I may be completely wrong. No, I don't think it was. I think it was purely just group. I think the solo performance was on another survival show called My Teenage Girl. I don't know, that kind of interplay of solo performances into a group performance, or compared to group performances, makes everything a lot more iffy. Like fairness, I guess. And everyone's all for fairness suddenly when it comes to survival shows, right? But I think we all know that complete fairness is not always the correct answer. Although it's like the fair and the most honorable way, the most moral way, however, it isn't what brings the best results to a group. Completely unrelated, let's move on to the G group, Danger group. And oh my goodness, this team had absolute beef. And this is where all the tense things kind of started to begin. I think it was building up to it with the 07s and 08s in the K group, not Danger, Burn It Up team, them kind of having conflicts. But no, this was absolute beef. And you know what? It's very realistic of a team to have arguments like this. And obviously, whether you're in a survival show or whether you're in a real life team group, two members are probably not gonna get along. I mean, you put like 98 boys together, you think they'll all be besties with one another? No. Some of them are going to conflict like this and constantly disagree, and that's just kind of the nature of these teenagers, young adults, whatever they may be. And I think for girls, the severity of this beef was much more toned down and also very exaggerated by editing. But this was purely just them having this conversation and miss all the other members. And there were these two Chinese members, and they were just like really, really disagreeing with one another, like the leader versus this other guy. And I just like imagine the other Japanese trainees not understanding a word about what they're communicating about, because they were probably talking in Mandarin. I'm not exactly sure what their language was, but probably Chinese language. And it was just like, I don't know, so embarrassing for them, because that's going to be left on their digital footprint. I keep having concerns about their own digital footprint, which really I shouldn't be caring too much about. But anyway. Apart from that mess, though, you know, their performance wasn't as bad as I thought. But I guess the pronunciation was kind of not so good, like compared to the other G group performances. Obviously, I know that they're G group members, and most of them don't speak Korean whatsoever. And like, I don't know, the speeding up of the melody, that just shows like lack of practice, honestly. And I don't know why it was such a problem in this specific episode. I've never seen a survival show where the melody was speeding up and the beats were speeding up. And Takuto's part, just kind of shows how he should have gone for a cute concept. Obviously, this was the last group left, so like he didn't get any choice in it. But I think next performance, if he doesn't get eliminated, which I don't think he will because he's quite popular. He got a lot of screen time initially, so yeah, I think he should definitely go with the cuter concept. That would definitely fit him more, and I would also like to see that. And oh my goodness, I think through this performance, I found a new pick, a new person that we're gonna be voting for. Although right now the voting thing isn't open, which makes sense because right now it's like they're getting eliminated. So how could we vote, right? Let's just check once more just in case. As far as I am concerned, though, I think the voting is closed, which is unfortunate because I want to vote for my new picks. And it's actually really, really unfair and gives these trainees a disadvantage when it comes to putting them in the second episode as compared to the first. Because if you get them good screen time in the first episode, more people will vote for them. But in the second episode, all of that is worthless. So someone like Kamden would be disadvantaged because he was like good edited, but like I guess someone like Krystian would be advantaged to be putting in the episode 2 because then the evil editing hasn't taken place yet. Anyway, it's closed right now. It says coming soon. Anyway, the pick that I actually found through the G Group Danger team is this guy named Yutu, and I saw him like on the like voting system because there's a guy named Yuto in Pentagon as well, and there's also a guy named Usok in Pentagon, and there's someone like Chung Usok in this survival show. There's like Hui, or not, and with Hui, there's 3 potential Pentagon members. Anyway, a lot of universes were making that joke, but no, Yuto's stage presence and his rap was absolutely solid. And I don't think he's from a specific company. I googled it. I don't think he is, but his dance, like his locking is really on point, and his locking and popping. And I would definitely go vote for him. Like he's a really well-rounded trainee, and I just really hope that he doesn't get eliminated. However, because he hasn't really shown his talents yet, he barely got screen time. The only reason that he caught my eye was because of his pure performance. And it's really unfortunate that he might get eliminated because he seems like a really perfect candidate if someone were to debut in this group. It's just unfortunate that no matter how talented you are, you won't get that many votes unless you are given screen time, right? Or you stand out in a really, really special way, I guess. We've got a lot of water today. I just had dinner, so we had like 2 meals. One was chicken with mashed potatoes, and the chicken was so good. It was so well marinated, I guess. And then we had Japanese style ramen. So those were our 2 dinners. I don't know why. Our family tends to do that for dinners. Yeah, we all have a huge appetite. Anyway, but let's move on to the K Group Danger team. Oh my goodness. Tao is in this team, and I think that says everything. And I was really like, I'm generally not a hateful person. Not saying that I hate him, not at all. And I was actually kind of feeling bad for him because a lot of people were beating him down for making it into the next episode, like episode 5. He's the only one that's actually confirmed that he survived, and people were like, he doesn't deserve it, oh my god, he should be kicked out, blah blah. And I was like, oh my god, calm down. It's really just the general public's vote, and that's just kind of the consequences that follow of making the general vote responsible wholly for the group. Anyway, I was just like, honestly, secondhand embarrassment from him. Like, I just kind of feel pity that these guys aren't really mature enough yet to realize that their words are going to have an impact on them later and make them look really embarrassing. Because the things he said in this episode of, no, I think I want the part. Well, let me just explain the situation to you. As long as I remember from yesterday, basically he was like, he had like a practice performance in front of the other K group trainees, and they were essentially, the other K group trainees have to co-evaluate the K group danger team. I mean, they do that for the other performances as well, but in this case it was K group danger team, and a lot of the lacking member part was written down because he was lacking, and he was almost noticeable in a bad way because he was very untalented is what the general comments said, and he just kind of laughed it off and said that he actually just wanted to keep the part regardless, and he was satisfied with it. And oh my god, there's also a part that said, I actually chose this team, so I should be getting the rights to choose. It's essentially the rough translation. Basically, he's saying that because he's the one that chose the members, he should also get a say. Like, I don't know. It was kind of a little worse in Korean. You know how like direct translations don't always work. But no, I would just really, really regret saying this if it's on live television. I literally audibly gasped because it was just so immature of him to say that. And he's not like a child or anything, so it's like, yeah. And a lot of people, as I said on TikTok, really hate him. And they were like, man, the other members would really regret helping him to now be on his team, which is, not wrong because they were just trying to be nice people, helping another guy out who's not really experienced. I mean, he's under a company, so I don't actually know exactly why he's not trained. Maybe that's just his image. But I mean, I think image is typically just for the audition round. I don't know why, but I think it makes sense how this group wasn't initially doing too well because other groups, the team was almost visualized by the person who picked the team. So like let's say for the K group Love Me Right team, we visualized all of the members and said, "Oh, these two are going to be the rappers. This one, that guy is going to be the main vocal, that guy is going to be the killing part." I can almost all imagine it in my head with the song choice. However, Tal just almost blindly, although I get where he was coming from, of course, just chose the people that helped him. So it's gonna make sense that it's not necessarily like a perfect collaboration and they're going to be missing certain aspects of a performance because that's just the way the group was formed. And there was this part where the judge was saying, "Oh, just because you have a lot of votes by the star creators does not mean that you should feel safe and shouldn't feel the need to improve." And that really, really was like impactful. And I don't know why. I find that whether he or whenever he receives these kind of feedback from just even his other members or even just the judges, he feels very confident. It was like, okay, but really isn't, processing that into himself. Like, he's just very confident for no reason, if that makes sense. And because of that, he really has no desire to improve because he's already confident in himself and doesn't feel the need to improve. It's like all talk, no action. I feel like that line really describes him well. And I don't know, I don't think he's a bad guy after all. I just don't think this position suits him in the K-pop industry. I don't think he's all made out to be an idol, is my personal opinion. Not that my personal opinion matters. Obviously, it is up to him whether he wants to become an idol or not. And, being on the survival show gave him a boost, so that is doing him good. But I don't know. I think he still needs a lot of improvement, both in a mindset way and obviously talent as well. And there's also the performance aspect of it, just totally apart from all of the Idol thing. And, I don't know why, but everyone rushes this specific song and it's like quite obvious as well. I don't know, because I can't talk. The beats in this song are not particularly hard either, so I'm not really sure why everyone was struggling with this. And Tara, not gonna lie, his stage presence is pretty good. I think that is something that he's actually got. So talent can obviously follow that. And oh my goodness, I really felt bad for this guy Tong Ichan, and he made a voice crack kind of mistake, and you could almost see it in his eyes that he was extremely nervous, and his eyes almost shook as he made the mistake. And I was like almost nervous on his behalf. It felt so bad for him. And I don't know, I feel like the parts in this song choice were not well distributed because like Minhyuk, that guy was so stable. It almost seemed like pre-recorded and his voice had a lot of flavor to it, if that makes sense. I was just confused as to why he didn't get the main vocal as compared to Chong Chan, which obviously he wasn't probably in the best condition to do so, but I think it would have made more sense to make Minhyuk the main vocal. I don't know. I think sometimes because it's like a group voting system, not like a judge saying, "Oh, you should be main vocal," sometimes the parts are slightly off, I guess is the best way to put it. Okay, now we're gonna be talking about K group backdoor team. And oh my goodness, I feel so bad for Han Yujin because that guy is a child, and one of the judges just absolutely has it out for him. Like, he's not even doing that bad, but he just like really pressures the dude and makes him feel really bad about himself, which I really feel bad for him, if that even makes sense, because like, there's a lot worse trainees than him, and he's just receiving all the hate from this one judge. And actually, he kind of reminds me of Yeso. Doesn't he? Like the bunny teeth? I don't know. His vibe is giving Yeso for some reason. Although Yeso wasn't hated by a judge. I don't know. This team didn't have anything that totally stood out, I guess. Just the performance. I think it was a huge breath of fresh air after all of the bad performances, you could say. And they almost really gave a complete group vibe, and I think almost gave a Stray Kids vibe as well. I don't know. I think I would, if they were a group in itself, I would fall for it. I would be like, yeah, that's a group, definitely. Like a debut group, that is. Okay, now we move on to the very, very interesting part, and the part that I was most anchored by. G group backdoor. Ah. And oh my goodness, I don't know why so many of these groups were so tense, but I could definitely feel that energy. And it's so obvious that it's just purely them, just the disagreements within the team, rather than the editing. The editing really has nothing to take place here. I think the only. Was there even evil editing? I don't know. Because before I actually saw this episode in itself, I saw a lot of Christian hate on TikTok, and I was like, you know what? No. I'm going to try my best not to be influenced by these comments and these videos, and just, view it with a very unbiased eye. But no, phew, I can see why a lot of people are opposing Krystian. And actually, a lot of people are defending him as well. I guess we'll get to that part later. And Krystian, essentially, he has one of the bigger parts in this performance. He had the killing part, of course, which is the biggest aspect. I don't know why I said one of the biggest. But anyway, he wanted to keep that role, whereas the judges were like, oh, I think you need to reconsider this because you just don't fit the vibe of this song, and your moves are more feminine as compared to the more so fast masculine vibe of Backdoor, which definitely makes sense. And the judge was not saying it in like a very condescending way. He was just like a very objective kind of tone, and I think a lot of these happen within these part placements because, like I said, they're chosen by the team members, not someone that has a professional view. So sometimes they're going to be quite inaccurate. And when the judges say, oh, you should maybe think of changing this, most groups change it to another member or actually try to improve. And so Krystian, this guy having the killing part, but not wanting to give it up, was clearly only thinking about his personal aspects to it rather than thinking of the team itself, which is really, really selfish. And especially at that age, I think it's quite easy to understand that because you're working in a team environment, you have to think for the team and not only think you. And saying things like, oh, you guys have to understand that this part means so much to me, okay? That part could mean so much to other people as well. It's not you that badly wants to become an idol, that badly needs screen time on the show. Like, you're in a group here, you're in a team, and you're not a soloist. And all of it just added up was really, really obvious to show his personality, which was just really almost desperate in an uncaring sense. Like, there could have been other people that could have caught, wait, I can't talk. Could have gotten the chance to, sorry, I'm just gonna unchart, to get this killing part, yet here he is, even after the judge's perspective, even after the team members saying, no, let's change the part or actually do re-auditions. He was just completely ignoring that. And Brian, that guy, man, we all know what happened to him, outside of Boys Planet. But despite all that, him saying the thing about revoting, which he essentially said, okay, then if you're confident that you absolutely need this killing part, then let's just do like a revoting of the different parts or the killing part and then see who does the best. And Brian was like, yeah, if you're so confident, then let's just do that. And Krystian was like, no, why are we even having this conversation right now? I'm the killing part. We already voted that. Like, oh my goodness, it was just so immature. It felt like he was like an 08. I like had to check his age. He's like 02 or something. Wait, let me check once more. I could be totally wrong. I did a lot of like Googling in this for some reason. In this oh, never mind. He's 2000. how old is that? Like 22, 23, something like that. And I don't know, like, it just felt so complainy to me, almost reminded me of Tyler. They seem like almost brothers in a parallel universe. And the thing is, these lines can't be even evil edited because they're just simply him saying it. It's not like the evil editing where it goes like that and then they show the different reactions of what someone said and then like pieces them together. No, it's just like directly him saying, no guys, I want this part and I'm not going to change it. Him saying that 5 times over and over again. I almost got sick of it, and I like, it can't be evil editing whatsoever. I don't think anyone was talking about that, but I just wanted to put that forth. And if you watch the show in itself, just that even small clip, you'll be able to notice that. And when he was later complaining about the fact, I mean, this was after that Ricky was revoted as killing part, and it was about the part where he was like, no, we should just move on to the next move rather than staying on this one move and making it solid, which he was basically just trying to deny the leader, who was not Kamden. And it just felt like those children that complain when they don't get what they want, and just the tone as to how he was talking to Kamden was really condescending and just felt so complainy. And the final straw for me personally was when he decided to put a center move by himself without even discussing it with the other members, just so he could get more screen time, which, you know, I can understand that he would want more screen time. Everyone is desperate to get more screen time on the shows where, like I said, screen time is basically your life here on survival shows. If you don't get screen time, you don't get a spot in the debut, or you don't get eliminated, essentially, right? And I can get that, but it's just, you know, there's a certain line as to where you cross that. And if you're essentially just ignoring the other members and not really doing it for the team, like, come on. Just do better than that is all I can say. It's more so about disappointment and like, why is he doing all that? Rather than, oh my god, I hate him for doing that. It's just, I just don't get it, I guess, is what I want to say. And, you know, you could definitely say, there are a lot of people saying actually, like, this is just a survival show and everyone is just trying to live, but I don't know, at the maturity level of 23, I think it's certain to say that you should know your limits to this. And just like Kamden, really like that guy. I really admire him as a leader, and he seems like a really good leader that understands his role, and he's trying his best to just make the team feel complete. Like when Kamden also auditioned or rejoined as a killing part, like him, Ricky, and Krystian were trying to try for the killing part role. And when Ricky got revoted as killing part, he was just like, Kamden was just like, yeah, good for you, but let's just do it for the team. Like, please just win this for the team. And it just shows how he's really thinking for the team, and like he understands it, like understands the whole team thing. How old is Kamden? Not that their ages too matter, but it just, I'm curious. Oh, he's under FNC? 2001, okay. 1 year younger than Krystian, yet he understands it better, right? You know, I don't know. I think this is really up to perspective. If you think Krystian was totally understandable and the fact that he did that was okay, go for it. I am not trying to disagree with you. I'm just trying to showcase my personal feelings, and if it even is like a side thing, I'm definitely on Kamden's side. And I don't know, I just kind of feel bad for Kamden as well, because he had to face all of this as a leader and also practice because he is also a team member in this. And at the end of the day, just as much as a contestant, you don't get a benefit for being a leader, right? You just have to lead the group, and that's just hard on you. Boohoo, you know? That's like the only aspect that's benefiting you. And later when the guy's dressing out, he goes to Hui for help. I thought that was so cute. And then we get to the performance itself, and oh my goodness, where was the Kamden lines? Where was the screen time? And Krystian complained about him not getting enough screen time, and he got a chunk of lines. He got a good amount of lines, and Kamden, I think he got like a total of 3 lines, and they weren't like noticeable parts as well. So like, it was just like crumbs. So like, make it make sense. I don't know what you're complaining about, dude. was my whole perspective. I literally just saw a video on TikTok. I was defending Christian, so I'm gonna assume that there's a lot of people supporting him. And if you are one of those people, I don't know, just don't even say your thoughts. Like, I honestly don't care. Like, if you think that his actions were justified, go for it. I mean, it's good that he has supporters as well. Okay, next we're gonna move on to the G group hot sauce team. And Osuke, I think that's his name. He's really cute. Yeah, he was the leader for this, and honestly, I can really understand him well as well. The fact that he's really pressurized by the while the K group team is like already making progress and already doing so good, is like so pressuring, and it's like you don't even know where to start. But the other team is already doing so well. Whew, that is a really scary situation to be in. And oh my god, Ollie is also cute. All the O names in this hot sauce team. Anyway, I really, really want to hear more of Ollie's like actual talents, like his singing, his rapping, and his stage presence is already really good. And I feel that we don't get to see a lot of that from Ollie because he was sick during the evaluations, which is why he got no stars. Not the fact that he was like bad or anything. And I don't know, I just want to see more of that, and I think he would definitely become my solid pick because I'll showcase my votes at the end, although I can't really vote right now. I'll just show you guys my top 9 guys of Boys Planet. It just feels so weird to say top 9 boys. I don't know why. Anyway, during the performance though, there's a part where it's like the judges are like, oh no. And then I was like really confused because like there was nothing bad about the performance. I had to replay it a couple of times and there was nothing bad about it, but the judges were overreacting and being like, uh-oh. So I'm not understanding. So if you guys know, please let me know in the comments down below, I guess. Okay, and then we move on to the K group hot sauce team and hanbin. Oh my goodness, that is absolutely what a good leader looks like and what a really good team looks like when all of the team members are cooperating with a solid leader. Cough, cough. Cooperating team members. That's a crucial part of a team, by the way. A good leader cannot make a good team if there's uncooperating team members, in my personal opinion. And hanbin led the team really well. Just, ignoring the other aspects apart from that. And he seems like a really talented guy as well, which I think is why the team did really, really well. They really succeeded, and his practicing methods were honestly funny to watch. But no, he was really good at that. And like at the performance, Park Hanbin, he really, really sounds good. Like he almost sounds pre-recorded, like just that good. So I was really impressed by that. And in this group is also my one of my picks, Lee Dong-gun. And I don't know why he was set up as main vocal, because like he seems to be more of a dancer guy. Like I don't know, I feel like he's gonna be eliminated, which is very upsetting, but I can kind of understand why, because he basically made 2 mistakes now from the audition stage to this. So I don't know. I just really want him to perform well. There's just like that feeling of please just do well so that you can almost defend me picking you for this entire time. Anyway, Toa getting 1 line was a little surprising to me because I thought he would get a little bit more attention, but that's just the way it is. And who knows? Maybe that's why the team won. Okay. And then the next group was K group Love Me Right. Oh my goodness. The last for the best. Am I right? Mm-hmm. And initially they show that the killing part was to Yedam, who's a really talented guy actually, but they later changed it to Song Hanbin because the judges said that Yedam doesn't really fit the vibe, and he said it in a very nonchalant way, so like it made sense to change the center or the killing part. Sorry, I keep calling center like what they used to call back in the day, but no, it was a really good decision, and this also shows that if the judge says something, it probably means you have to follow, and it probably means it's the sensible decision. And I know I keep coming back to the whole G group, what is it, backdoor team. Anyway, Yedam is actually really, really talented, but Song Hanbin does definitely fit the whole center vibe well, and I can definitely see why he got the center role for the Signal song as well. Like, there's a reason for it, right? And he also really fits the whole Love Me Right vibe, and it makes sense that Hui was looking at him for the killing part. Like, Hui was really good at arranging all of the members together, which is what the judges agreed upon as well. Like, just the line distribution, everything felt really accurate to its core, which is what the judges said, not me. And I totally agree with that. I think Hui, because he has so much producer like experience, and being a producer means also distributing the lines, also seeing which line should go to which member. So he is definitely good at that. Although if you would give Shinwon more lines in the next comeback, we're waiting for you. Come back to Pentagon. Oh, I've honestly, I don't even know. Like, I'm honestly trying to use Boys Planet as my coping mechanism for the lack of Pentagon content. That and Pentagon's Night Radio, which is hosted by Shinwon. Go check it out. Or not. I'll just keep it to myself and my personal enjoyment. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yes, Love Mirai team. Let's just totally move on to the performance, because honestly the practice situation was completely perfect. And I don't know why, guys, but you guys always fall for Mnet's bait of making Hui look bad. Like, oh my goodness, their storyline of being like, Hui is a 7+ year old idol, yet he's still messing up in this amateur survival show, is what tries to be the storyline of Boys Planet. But it just doesn't work. Come on. He's not gonna mess up, and it's not gonna happen. And all of the vocals in this performance, not just Hui, was perfect. It almost seemed pre-recorded. All of the stage aspects of it, the dance, perfect as well. And Hui doing that good despite his, throat being a little off, I don't know. I'm just like really impressed by him, and I'm just constantly really just like inspired by this guy. He's just so talented. It's like crazy. Like, I don't know. Boys Planet just doesn't do justice to him. It doesn't show his full potential nor his full talents. Like, his full talents come to play when he's in Pentagon, and a lot of universes say that as well. Like, I kind of miss him being in Pentagon, and him being in Boys Planet doesn't feel right to me, and that totally makes sense. Like, you're a universe because you like Pentagon, not because you like Boys Planet, right? That's not what you signed up for necessarily, and that makes sense to me. However, I still enjoy Hui and Boys Planet. Like, I don't necessarily get why you would not watch it, I guess. Like, I get not watching the whole thing, but like not watching the short 3-minute performance, because like if you didn't watch the full thing, whether you're a universe or not, definitely do. Like, even if you just skip the first part of it, go to the high note and then watch for like 20 more seconds of it, because that's when the ad libs are shown, and that part was so good. You should have seen Hyo's reaction to it. And Hyo, that's the guy who is a universe, literally. His favorite song was Spring So by Pentagon. And his reaction to it was the cutest. Like, I replayed it so many times because it made me happy, as if I'm the one receiving the admiration. And like, we always felt flipping his microphone since day one. We love to see it. And I don't know, I felt very teary-eyed because it literally felt like an ending to a concert or something like that. And it felt like the perfect place for the Mnet editors to put it last. It just feels very complete that way, if that makes sense. And obviously, the group combination was just amazing. And just apart from Hui, the trainees did a really, really good job. I think it really makes sense as to why Hui chose them. And they're all individually extremely talented. And I just hope that none of them get eliminated the next episode. However, I have a feeling that they might. I don't know. And Matthew saying that this was a legendary performance. So true. He doesn't get screen time too much in this episode, but that was like a solid moment from him. And literally the last time in the last episode, I literally said that those who went to the audience itself and watched all of this essentially said that Hui's performance felt like a concert. And like, I can totally see why he was saying that. Like, you have to trust the audience that actually go there in real life, because they're gonna actually perfectly and capture the whole experience. And there's this guy Han Bin, which is in this K-Group Luvie team, and he won 17 points where his opponent won 12, and he was like so happy about it. He was like flippant, and it was just like really funny. But I don't know. I don't know if I got gaslit by everyone saying how episode 4 was going to be the eliminations. However, it's not, and it's actually going to be the next episode. It actually sorry, I just had to do that. It makes sense with the whole voting process of how the voting ended a couple days ago, right before this episode was released, so it wouldn't make sense unless no, it just wouldn't make sense if the eliminations were this episode. But it's kind of funny how Mnet faked everyone into thinking this would be the performance. Okay, that is everything. Let me take a sip. We're almost halfway there. Oh my goodness. Okay. Anyway, now I'm going to release my top picks. Let me actually just show my screenshot from last time. Okay, so actually this might not be 9 people. Let's all write it down. And this is also in no order whatsoever, because if I were to rank these, that would absolutely take forever. I'm going to write them all down just to see how many I get. But first place right now actually is kamden. I don't know. I think he actually deserves a lot more than what he's taken credit for, and kind of feel bad for him as well. I think he's actually getting a lot of fans through this episode, so as long as he's not eliminated, which he shouldn't be because I've been voting for him since day one. I mean, not every single voting time, but anyway, no, I have been doing that, so hopefully he shouldn't be eliminated. I'm not entirely sure. His rank isn't entirely secure, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, so my top 9, it's actually perfectly 9, is kamden, as I said, taek, Hui, of course, Ollie, who is, oh no, I actually have 10. Oh my goodness. Yes, okay. Number 3, Ollie. And Ollie also has been, I think he's the only guy that I voted for the entirety of it. And then for 4th is Yuto, the guy that I said I was thoroughly impressed by. And then number 5, Park Do-ah. I explained this last episode, but I think I'll keep rooting for him. He's definitely made a lot of progress, and he also ultimately has the desire to be an idol, which I think is the most crucial part. If you're motivated, I will vote for you. It doesn't matter how untalented you are. You have to actually be, you have to cohesively work with the group, and I think that is the admirable part. As long as I don't know, Tal was working properly with the group and had a lot of motivation to improve significantly, that would have really made it better. Okay. And then we've got 6, Chang, which has been, this guy has been in my top ranks since last episode as well. And then we've got Lee Dong-gun, I explained it. And then number 8, Seo-won, who is the guy that, oh my god, Mnet is really pushing his reactions. I can really sense it, which is good for him because he is one of my picks, and he's actually gaining a lot of more popularity because of all the screen time that he's getting. And it's funny because they don't give him screen time for his actual performances or his talents, but it's more the those kind of reactions. Okay, and then number 9, we've got Matthew, which I'm gonna be totally honest, I haven't been voting for him because he already has the the G group benefits of Kill This Love Team, and he's got a lot of fans. Oh my goodness, my entire TikTok feed, you would not imagine, it's just girl, girl, girl. It's crazy. I don't know why I had to felt the need to mimic that. But anyway, number 10 is Osuke. I don't know, I'll just throw him in there. I'm not too impartial to him. He might get eliminated as well because he barely got screen time, so we'll see. Those are my picks for now. Let me know your thoughts on all of these things, I guess. Unless you are a Christian supporter, I don't want to hear that. Just because, it'll get heated in the comments. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching this review. I'll definitely be back with episode 5 review as well, where everyone gets eliminated except for 50 people. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.